What's up, everybody? It is deep in prep time. I am 2 weeks and 4 days out, and I thought it's time I get back on YouTube, Instagram, tickety-tock, all the things, and give you guys a little bit of a prep update. A lot of things going on, and I think it was destiny foreshadowing. My friends at LMNT, who I work with, I'm deep in prep. It's hard right now. And I'm going to explain there's been a drop in macros, a drop in calories. It is grind time. It is time to get those last few pounds of body fat off, if there's even that many left. It's frantic. It's hard. It's a blessing. And I'm loving every minute of the struggle. And again, I think my buddies at LMNT knew I was going through it. And out of nowhere today, on the doorstep of my gym, lands these 3 cases of the LMNT sparkling element that they released. And I've got the black cherry salt right now, and it is spectacular. And to have something to break up the monotony of water and black coffee and the extremely repetitive, bland food that I'm consuming right now, this really hit the ticket. I want to say really fast, I've been working with LMNT for a very long time. They were nice enough to reach out to me and work with me. I was able to interview the great Rob Wolf on my channel, and we hit it off really well. And he basically said, hey, you need to be a brand ambassador. And I have ever since. And I know there's bigger channels out there that are pushing the brand, but if you really want to support what I'm doing here and you want to support the channel and really help me out with some of these production costs and the things that I'm doing, there's a link below. Order some LMNT. I use it every single day. I'll do a couple of days. I'll put it in my gallon of water. I'll have it during my workout, that salt during the workout. Even deep in prep, it helps you get that great pump and vascularity and get that extra sodium, magnesium, potassium that you need to really get you through your day. So I would really appreciate your support by clicking that link. If you order through my link, anything that you order, as a supporter of this channel, you get a free bonus pack of packets at no extra charge. And a lot of my clients who are regularly ordering LMNT through my link will tell you that every once in a while, some awesome piece of swag just kind of shows up on their doorstep from being a supporter. So if you want to help out the channel, I'd really appreciate if you looked into LMNT, and it would really go a long way, and it would help me out, and you'll love it because it's fantastic. And I wouldn't be telling you about it if I didn't believe in it myself. So anyway, also, the reality of prep really hit home because my Pro Tan arrived today. Yes, I do my own tanning. I remember way back in 2015 when I did my first NPC show. I did the whole thing where you go to the hotel, you get a tanning appointment time. It was absolute chaos. It's a funny story. You go into this room and you're in there with like 25 naked guys all getting spray tanned. It's stressful. You're depleted. All you want to do is get to your room, back to your Airbnb, whatever, and, start your carb up, relax, go through all the fine details of what you need to go through to be prepared to go on stage. So going through that monotonous tanning process, it just wasn't for me. So we started doing our own tanning every show after that. And Pro Tan, I have no affiliation with Pro Tan whatsoever, but I can tell you that they simply are the best. My tans always looked phenomenal. And because I have the greatest prep wife on earth, Nancy, my beloved bride of 30 years, she will put on a couple of the pre-coat the night before the show. And then the next morning we put on the show coat, the top coat, to really give me that bronze stage ready look. I mean, you look like a damn walnut cabinet, which is exactly what you need to stand under those bright lights and really be able to present your physique. So when the tanning kit shows up, you know that it's getting real. So it's here, and here we go. So 2 weeks, 4 days out. So in these final 2 weeks, that's when that's when you really have to put your foot on the gas. So as you get down to deep sub 10% body fat, like I'm probably hovering around that 6% range, maybe, give or take, probably take. I need to, or at least my goal is to try to be as fat-free as possible. I mean, that's the goal. Your peak week doesn't have to be much of anything if you come in fat-free. I mean, that's the goal. So a lot of these competitors or people who are just going through a super hard cut for a photo shoot, for a wedding, a family reunion, for a beach trip, and they just want to be absolutely peeled, you get into that final week where you can throw a couple of nuanced nutritional things into the mix to get you to look your absolute best on that one day. And for me, it's be as peeled out of my mind at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Then in order to get there, honestly, if you just come in free of body fat, the process is very, very simple. So in these last 2 weeks before peak week, everything has been reduced. It's the struggle fest time, but that's what bodybuilding is. That's what physique competition is. So if you don't know by now, throughout this entire prep, I've been doing carb cycling. And it has been an absolute game changer for me. And I've spoke about it at length. I'm going to speak about it some more. You know, I believed that back in the day when I would just do pre and post workout carbs, I would do refeeds, and then I would carb up before the show. That worked well, but it was the minimum effective dose to get stage lean. And I believe through carb cycling, having that carbohydrate structured where I get the proper amount each day, depending on output, has helped me keep my fullness. It's given me greater vascularity. It's given me greater separation. And this is hard to believe for some of the low carb crowd out there, it has made it easier to drop body fat and maintain lean muscle mass. So as we've been going through the prep, I have a moderate day of carbohydrate, which is my training days. And I have my low carbohydrate days or lower carbohydrate days, which is my off days. And for me, that's 3 days. I take Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday off for recovery and growth. So those days are lower carbohydrate because I don't need that extra energy. And then on 1 day a week, which is almost always leg day because it's my hardest training day a week, and it typically is for anyone, that's my one high day. And you do it on leg day because you want that extra carbohydrate to fuel that super high intensity output, working, you know, such a large portion of your muscle mass. And it serves the purpose of really reloading that muscle glycogen. Because even though I'm doing moderate days, I'm doing low days, there is carbohydrates in the mix, and it's all very clean carbs. Yes, there are clean carbs, not dirty carbs. It's going to refuel and reload that muscle glycogen, and it's kind of like throwing gasoline on a fire. So as your metabolic rate slows, and I've talked about this before, you know, through the dieting process, you're always going to be somewhat glycogen depleted, even doing moderate days. To have that 1 day where you really top off the muscle glycogen, reload it, have that spectacular leg workout, it really boosts the metabolic rate. It gets everything moving along again. So typically anytime I would have a stall in my rate of fat loss, throwing that one high carb day or that super compensation day, as it's called, into the mix each week really kept pushing everything along. And it's a great way to really assess your physique, to see that fullness the next day. Everything is round and full and popping. So when you evaluate your physique in the mirror or when you're posing, it gives you just a better representation of what your ultimate physique is going to look like on stage. So there were points throughout the prep where my high day was in the upwards of 500 grams of carbohydrate. And the next morning, after 500 grams of carbs, I would only be up about a pound, maybe 2 pounds. Now, the people in the carnivore keto community would say, "See, you gained fat because you took in all those evil carbohydrates," but actually that's completely false. It's not the way the body works. That's not a thing. What I did was I loaded that glycogen, I topped it off up to the point just before it would spill over and store as body fat. And that accumulation of muscle glycogen and the addition of the water that your body will hold on to support that muscle glycogen would make the scale weight go up a pound or two, but that was not body fat. That was just volumization of the cells, muscle glycogen, and water. And then a day or two, 24 to 48 hours after that high day, whatever 1 or 2 pound increase I would do, it would always reset back to where I was before. And then oftentimes I would then even drop a little bit of weight because it got my metabolism moving along again. It sent a signal to my body that, oh, he's not starving to death. We have a nice influx of energy, so we can continue to keep moving forward, eliminating excess body fat. And because I keep my protein high and because I keep training as hard as possible, that sends the physiological signal to hold on to as much lean muscle mass as possible. So the carb cycling has worked wonders. Now, as we went on through the prep, the moderate days, low days, and high days were slowly, meticulously reduced. Now it's when it gets tough because my moderate days are now at 100 grams, which I know for some sounds like high carb, but actually, for what I've been going through, that's very low. And on my off days, 50 grams of carbohydrate, which is a sufferfest. But my high day is now only just 150 grams of carbs. So we are still reloading some glycogen, still continuing to send the signal that we're not starving to death and we can continue to keep moving forward. And so now it's that 2-week grind of depletion to get rid of that last stubborn little bit of body fat that's still remaining. And for me, I hold a little bit on my glutes at the end, and usually the last place for me to come in is my quads. Just genetically, I've never had those deep carved out quads. They've just been, big and hard, but they haven't been carved out. So the goal is to the last place that it finally pops for me, hopefully coming into peak week, is in my quads, so I can present the best overall physique. From the waist up, man, I am carved out. I am dug out. I mean, if there's any body fat left, I don't know where it is. And that's a good place to be. I'm very pleased with the progress. I can honestly say I've never been leaner in my life than I am on this prep. And that's been remarkably, it's given me remarkable confidence because, way back in April when I started this prep, I had been out of the game for 3 years, and then it turned into, there was a point where it was at 4 years since I had competed. So I was kind of apprehensive. Could I recomp the muscle that I had? Did I have enough time to get that fullness, get that muscle pop, have that muscle memory kick in, and then have enough time then to peel it down to get super shredded down to that 3-4% body fat. Hopefully I can get there. And then ultimately that'll give me my best look on stage. And, in bodybuilding, regardless of what anybody says, and you always get that one guy that argues with you on the internet and they're just wrong. Conditioning wins shows. Conditioning, especially at the amateur level. Now, if you're an IFBB pro, if you're a Mr. Olympia caliber, or any kind of an Olympia caliber athlete, the judges are looking at fullness and conditioning, but they still always default to conditioning as being that final thing that might separate first and second place. The guy that's more conditioned, the woman that's more conditioned, probably going to get the nod. So in my case, I want to know that I'm stepping on stage and I feel confident that more than likely, unless some absolute genetic super freak shows up, that I'll be walking on stage as the most conditioned guy up on that stage. And that gives me the greatest overall potential and possibility of pulling out a class win. And for this show, it's a business trip. The goal is to win the 50 plus. that's the goal. Even though I could still go to nationals if I don't win, for me, I have to earn it. And if I'm not, if I don't walk out of there with a class win, then it would be very, very difficult me to feel like I earned my place. That's just the way my personality is. I'm kind of an all or nothing guy. And so the goal is that. I'm also going to do the open, and I've always done open heavyweight. And the heavyweight category is heavier than 198 3/4 pounds. And I usually would step on stage at about 206. Sometimes I'd be at around 206 and I'd carb up and I'd be about 208, 210. That would put me into the heavyweight. Well, this time around, since I want to be the most conditioned I've ever been in my life, I'm kind of pushing hard, and I'm thinking I might land at the upper limit of the light heavyweight. And the logic behind that is, if I'm at the top of my weight class and I'm the most conditioned guy, then visually, standing next to the other light heavyweights, I should have the overall appearance of being not only the most conditioned guy up there, but hopefully being at the top of the weight class, maybe the biggest guy as well. So I hope to do well in the open category, but you know, it is what it is. For me, the ultimate goal is to win the 50 plus. And if I'm able to accomplish that, then mission complete, going to nationals in July of 2026. And so this, again, as I said, is a business trip. And October the 8th, I hope that all the pieces come together and I pull out that class win. So that's where we're at right now. Wow, these are really good. I've been a little slack at posting physique updates. I've done a couple. Today, the recording of this, it is Tuesday. I'm going to be doing some posing practice on Friday, and I hope to snap a few pics and a few videos and give you guys a physique update then that I'll get uploaded on all the social media BS. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. So 2 weeks and 4 days. This week, we're depleting. Everything is low. I'm eating bikini girl calories. It's a suffer fest. My proteins are almost exclusively egg whites, white fish, a little bit of chicken, not much. And my post-workout meal is my favorite is still, I'll take some cream of rice. I'll mix 2 scoops of chocolate, or actually it's brownie batter whey, into the cream of rice. That is my favorite post-workout meal because it's super fast absorbing, gets into the muscles quickly, absorbs quickly, starts that recovery process, keeps muscle protein synthesis high, and continues to set the table to maintain and preserve muscle mass and give that best look. I'm eating 5 meals a day. And again, people say, well, you know, why do you guys eat so often? Because you constantly want to maintain muscle protein synthesis. By taking in food every 3 hours or so, which is what I do, every one protein dominant, that keeps your body in a constant state of muscle protein synthesis, which again is the best physiological environment to maintain, and even in some cases potentially add a little bit of lean tissue as you go. So bodybuilding or sculpting the best physique that you can possibly produce, it's different from Gen Pop. It's different from what a lot of people do. You can have a very nice physique. You can be muscular, you can be lean, doing a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet or all these things. I've done them, I've mastered them, I've coached them, and I still work with people to this day who are on carnivore and ketogenic diets because I have learned probably more than anybody out there, I'll go ahead and say it, how to maximize that for the hardcore training athlete that is doing carnivore or keto, especially the carnivore diet. But full disclosure, I always tell those athletes, it's my strong recommendation that you do continue, even on a carnivore diet, to have that pre and post-workout carbohydrate, especially post-workout, and that you do some structured refeeds along with that as well. And carbing up before the show or the photo shoot or whatever is kind of non-negotiable, because regardless of what anybody says, that will give you the absolute best, full, shredded, peeled, separated look that you could possibly have for whatever competition or event that you're doing. So, and I've proven this 1,000 times over. So, but carb cycling for the competitive bodybuilder, the hardcore strength training athlete that is looking to have the greatest balance of size and conditioning, it by far works the best. And this is why every pro bodybuilder and top amateur bodybuilder does it. You are, of course, going to get that occasional outlier that might do it a little differently. But if you were to pull, 20,000 competitors out there, all of them are utilizing some version of a carb cycling approach, because it does produce the greatest, most optimized results. And I know somebody's going to argue with me and say, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. That's just what it is. Again, I've said this 1,000 times. I am not ideologically driven. I am results driven. I'm going to always continue to give you the information that I think is going to work best for you, best for me. And I don't have to be part or a member of some club and maintain my status in that membership of that club. I don't care. It's whatever works. I still want to be healthy. I still want to do what's best for longevity. But in the realm of competition, producing a freak in the room physique, that I think is the most optimized approach. And I think I've definitely proved that. And I have a lot of my clients that are making the switch. Some not, some are, doesn't matter. But the ones that are seeing dramatic benefit from it. They love it. It's a more sustainable approach for many, maybe not all. And everybody's loving it so far. So I'm really looking forward to pushing the limits of my physique with this methodology. And I am very, very pleased so far as to what I've been able to accomplish at 56 years old. So I still have 2.5 weeks to screw it up, but I believe the approach is sound. I have good people in my corner. I have an amazing support network at home. And I think I have the framework all put together to hopefully bring this all together in 2.5 weeks and produce a great physique on stage. And then it's up to the judges. It's in their hands. It's beyond my control. But when I'm sitting backstage, something I always do at every competition, as I sit there quietly, I say a prayer, thanking God for what He's allowed me to do. It's a blessing. It's a privilege. I get to do this. I don't have to do it. And then I ask myself, could you have trained any harder? And I like to always say, no, I couldn't have. Could you have dieted any harder? I can tell you, this prep, absolutely not. I could not have dieted any harder. Did I do the necessary requirements of cardiovascular exercise? I believe I have. Did I put an emphasis on recovery and sleep and all the X factor things to produce the best physique that I could? Yes. So if I'm at peace with everything I've done over the last 7 months, every single day, every hour, every minute, everything that I've done has been calculated, then I'm at peace. I can do nothing more. So then it's in the hands of the judges. So I will continue to work as hard as I possibly can and try to bring home the gold. Hey, I'm a coach, and I've had a massive influx of new clients coming in, especially people over 40. And I've kind of evolved into the masters bodybuilding guy because it's all I've ever done. I've coached so many masters physique competitors. So if you're that person that lives in anywhere USA, you've raised your kids, you've built your business, and you decide, hey, I want to do a local show. And anybody can. The way that the sport has evolved with men's physique and classic physique, and with women's bikini, fit model, anybody, if they're willing to work, can produce the greatest physique of their life, even over 40, even over 50, even over 60. I work with tons of them, and they can stand on stage and have that one little moment of glory that nobody will ever be able to take away from them. Or if you just want to train like one, and for that one time in your life, produce the best possible physique you could possibly imagine, to have a physique that you're proud of, to be proud of your reflection, to be the freak in the room wherever you go, to stand out, to have that sense of pride and accomplishment of hard work well done, then let me know. I'd love to work with you. But anyway, 2.5 weeks out, I'm going to try to do more of these over the next few weeks. And I want you to stay tuned to this channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to be taking the camera to the event. We're going to get there early. We're going to get there on Thursday. The show is on Saturday. We're going to be at the Airbnb. We're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, doing all the things. I'm going to be filming everything, doing a little vlog series throughout the entire event to kind of bring you guys along. So I look forward to sharing that entire experience with you. You get to see me hanging out with my crazy family and doing all the crazy stuff that bodybuilders do to prepare for a show. And I hope it brings you a little bit of entertainment. So anyway, I'm going to check out now. I'm going to finish my LMNT sparkling, salty sparkling drink because they're amazing. And I got to get back to work because I got another meal coming up in 15 minutes. So glad you guys came along. Look forward to giving you guys another update. Give me a comment if you have a question. Reach out if you need anything. And I'll see you the next time. I'm out.